Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku, back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about a hot topic on Pito's gender. This is a topic that a lot of people are very decisive and divided on whether or not Pito is in fact a female or a male. Now, several years ago, I did make a theory unsolved video about Krona, whether what gender he or she was. If you guys would like me to do a video on that, an updated version of that video, feel free to hit me up on that. But we're going to talk about Pito. Now, Pito is a very, very hard thing to really talk about in terms of what gender he or she is. Because of the way the manga is depicted and the way the anime is depicted. Now, for both the Japanese and the English, they hired female voice actresses to play this character, which kind of puts it on more of the female-ish side. Now, about a year ago, I actually met the official English voice actor to Pito, which she flat out said that she considers Pito genderless, as said here.
Number two, I consider Neferpitou genderless. There we go.
So that was from UBCon 2018 during a Q&A panel that I was at. And now Sarah Williams, who is the official English, like I said, voice actress of Hunter x Hunter 2011 series, considering that Pito is in fact a genderless. Now, please keep in mind, I don't want people to use this video to kind of, tell other people what they believe. I want people to use this more as a source for the actual evidence that is presented. Everything that I'm going to show you is actual evidence that is going to kind of prove where I think Pito is at, whether it is a she or a he. Like I said, never really going to get the definitive answer because it can be depicted no matter which way you spin it. But like I said, I'm going to use the actual evidence that is presented to kind of put my argument out there on whether I think it is a female or a male, or genderless, as Sarah Williams believes Pito is. So let's get into this, and let's get into the evidence of where Pito is in terms of what she or he could possibly be. So as you can see here from my image here, you can see the animated version from the 2011 animated series, and on the other side of this picture you can see the manga version. Now you can clearly see that the anime clearly tried to make Pito look more like a female compared to the manga version. This is where a lot of people often get confused to why a lot of people will say that the anime version is a female and the manga version is a male. Because a lot of people say this because of the appearance that Pito looks like in the anime. It looks like she kind of has, boobs, where, the manga version kind of doesn't really look like she has them, just from looking at it from just from an unbiased appearance. So there's that, and also the way her face is presented looks a lot more female-ish versus the manga version, where the manga version kind of looks more manly compared to the female version. Compared to the anime version. The anime version kind of looks more female-ish from the way it appears. So there's that presentation appearance where the moment you see the anime, you're going to, someone like me who first watched the anime, I immediately am going to draw to the fact and think this is a girl, not a male. or this is a female, not a male. So you're already getting the viewer's attention to thinking that this character is a female right off the bat, if they haven't read the manga, which I didn't. So this is what you're gonna see. So that is one of the biggest issues in terms of appearances. Right away, you're going to just assume that this person is a female based on the appearance of the way she or he looks. But that's not where it ends, because there is multiple different things that you can go on besides this appearance. So let's get into the next points. So in a guidebook that was done back in, I believe, 2004, there is this symbol that a lot of people are often taking out of context, because I believe the pronunciation is K-arg, which from Japan, which in English is pronounced he. So because of this, it was kind of depicted incorrectly. So a lot of people think that because this was in there, that okay, then Pito is in fact a he. The problem with this is, they also then would later use the term bako, which in Japan is translated to I. Now this is often supposedly supposed to be exclusive to boys, but the thing is, that does not mean in cases where it can't be turned out to be a girl. It is also used by many different animators in Japanese anime, to be particular, mangas, that this could also be to hide a gender, to hide someone's gender, which has been done many, many times. It's been done with Krona in Soul Eaters, as well as a few other different animes. So this isn't something uncommon that they have done. So, yeah, like I said, this isn't concrete evidence. So as you can see from even in these later anime scans, you can clearly see that, Pito has the same similar traits as she has in the anime. Which again, she does a lot of interesting, gestures throughout it. Which kind of, like I said, it kind of shows these more female-ish characteristics. So now we need to look at the Royal Guard aspect of this. So the Royal Guards always have to at least have one female for every, 2 males for the Royal Guard, which Pito would be that female, because as we all know, obviously the other Royal Guards are male. Also, I should point this out, but Pito was created because, as you all know, the ants are created from humans and other aspects of an animal and whatnot. Well, Pito's animal that she was created from was a female cat. I mean, that's kind of obvious at this point. But also a female human. So she was created from a female cat and a female human. So, I mean, there's kind of that there, which kind of leans more to the argument that Pito is in fact a female. So yeah, let's move on to the next part. So this quite recently aired in the anime, because we are currently in the Ant arc. We're actually towards the end of it for the English dub. But seeing how a lot of people like to see the manga scans for this, I decided to bring this scan in here for the manga, which is Kiwula basically describing Pito as a motherly figure. As you can clearly see from this this manga scan. This, again, was in chapter 274, but this is also in the anime as well, as it aired not too long ago. in the English dub, and or the Japanese, whichever you would like to watch. But I'm just saying that this did happen in the anime as well, in much more contents for people to hear. So yeah, there's that. Also, to add on the point, the official license Hunter x X Battle Collection app phone game in Japan, they also proclaimed that Pito was a female in this video game, which is quite interesting. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's just a video game, but there are other characters in there that are males and females and whatnot, but yet this character, which currently had no gender, was labeled a female in the game, which the creator has a say in a lot of the stuff that goes on in video games or animes as well, since, you know, they are the writers of it after all. So the fact that the video game proclaimed that she was a licensed video game, like an official licensed video game, actually proclaimed that Pito was a female in this said game, that definitely does hold a lot of merit to this situation. Also, I should point out that just because somebody says the term sir does not necessarily mean that they are a male. Keep in mind that there are many times where people will just randomly say sir just because. There are a lot of people that will say dude just because, even if they know the person is a female, because sometimes people just don't care. Granted, there are people that do, but I'm just saying that there are also people that just don't, and they just say it as like a generic term. Also, you also have to take into account that since Pito is an ant, people just terming her as a he when they said he or something like that, that is just as a general term because they're ants, so they really don't really necessarily care what their gender is, because their gender is like, you know, literally it's whatever. They're ants. They're the serve the king. So they're not really trying to figure out like the politically correct terms. I mean, let's face it, most of these ants did not even know stuff that humans could do until they learned. They didn't know how to do Nen and all that stuff until they've seen that the humans could do it. So they learned how to do this stuff. So that's another thing that needs to be taken into account when debating this topic. So now let's take this to the cover of the manga. In the cover manga of Hunter x Hunter, chapter 28, they proclaim they had Pito in the middle position, proclaiming that she is basically like Mary. Now the Virgin Mary is someone who basically remains virgin, but then turns, or basically, you know, takes care of everyone, and that's, you know, kind of motherly, as you know. So the way this is interpreted, again, implies heavily that she is a she, that Pito is a she, because she is taking the role of Virgin Mary. Like I said, you know, the way it is depicted is that way in the manga as well as the anime, as well as even the video games. So yeah, there's that as well too. So, my conclusion. So, as you guys all seen, that was all the evidence that we have had up to this date. So, with that being said, is Pito a female? Is Pito a male? Or is Pito genderless? In my opinion, based on all the evidence that is out there, I 100% believe Pito is in fact a female. Yes. I think she is absolutely a female. In terms of the guidebook where the author had proclaimed, wink wink, that she was a male, was to imply to hide her gender. Because, again, this is something, as I said earlier, this is something a lot of animated creators or manga creators do. They did this with Krona. They did this with a bunch of other ones. I think they even did it with Hanji, if I'm not mistaken, which we know Hanji is a female, but I think they did that for a while with her in Attack on Titans. So this is something that a lot of manga creators do. And like I said, they later put in Bako, which is translated to I. Now, again, typically means guy or boy in you know, in typical fashions, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't warrant to being a girl. And like I said, based on all the other evidence that has come out since the 2004 guidebook, there is a lot of evidence that heavily implies that she is a female. Going back to the video game, that is an official licensed video game, and they confirmed that she is a female. That was made like back in 2012. There's just so many hints, even in the manga, which is depicted in the anime, motherly figure. She was basically mixed in from a female cat and a female human, which made, kind of makes it obvious that she is a female right there. But like I said, this is all depicted for... This can all be decisive depending on what you look at it as, and that is if the creator comes out and flat out says, this is how it is, and this is what he or she is. But at this time right now, based on all the evidence that I have and I can present to you, I have to go with her as a female. And so that is the evidence for Pito and why she is in fact a female. So let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, please subscribe. Also, please feel free to share this video with other people that are still interested in this topic. And give me a thumbs up as well. That's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace!